Hi, good afternoon, guys. We have Mr. Prakash Kevalramani with us. He is the owner of Impact HR Services as well as jobsmantra.com. Very well known in the industry to help corporates find the right recruits in the industry. Welcome, sir. How are you doing?
Thank you, Avinash. Pleasure coming on this show today, and I think we'll have a good session today.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm really excited about this because this is actually closest to my heart as well, since we have a lot of staff on our own payrolls. So I'm going to directly dive into three main questions. One is, how is it affecting the personal life? How is it affecting the corporates as well? And how is it in the end affecting, the jobs in the industry? And what are your solutions you could offer for people like that? So let's start with the personal life. How is it affecting the personal life for people?
Uh, I would say that with the advent of Corona, now what we are talking about is era of mankind before Corona and after Corona.
Mm,
That's the extent to which Corona is going to change the entire way we live, think, relate with people, have our personal leads. Everything is going to go through a 360 degrees change
mm,
with the current scenario of what we are facing last 2 to 3 months. A lot of changes have taken place even in this short period, 1.5 months time. We can't say that we were taken off guard. We have been hearing about Corona emerging from China and going to various countries and all that. But when it hits us suddenly, it has really taken us off guard. I feel this is one of the most unprecedented, unpredictable, and challenging times which every citizen of this globe is going through. I'm not sure anyone has gone through such a crisis ever before. If
mm,
someone claims he has gone through such a crisis in his or her lifetime, the person must be at least 102 years old.
yeah.
Others, even not have gone through the severity of this crisis. And what is really affecting the people and their mindset and creating internal stresses is that no one has any idea, any cure, any solution to when this health and economic crisis is coming to an end.
Mm,
It has led us from being people wanting to go outward seeking, outward looking to completely inward looking. We are
mm,
now bound to our homes. Me as a family, I'm not able to meet my grandchildren. Last 1.5 months, we have not met. Fortunately, technology has come in, and with the video contacts, we are able to see our children and grandchildren. But that jadoo ki chappi we are talking about, and the personal contacts, the hugs, which Modi ji does, I think everything is gone for a toss right now.
yeah.
It's really now essentially a game of survival. Everyone wants to just survive. And
Mm,
going on to the next, I would say, concept. In fact, even our own style of living has changed. Even our food culture, food habits. Today,
mm,
no one is talking about going in for exotic foods and ice creams and chickens.
yeah.
Everyone is talking about basic survival foods like you have dal, roti, as you say, sabji, and all that.
Mm,
And in terms of mindset, I think we have gone back 2 generations.
mm,
Our grandparents used to say, okay, you do the book reading, you see, study about the world, going through your books and all that. Our parents told us, be very, very money conscious, save money and all that. Then
mm,
there was a generation which went out, spent money, went to malls, went to, I would
yeah.
say, movies and multiplexes. Now
Yeah.
again, you're coming back to what your parents, grandparents taught us.
Mm.
So I think the complete 360 degrees change in our entire way of thinking and
Yeah, very true. I mean, it's all come down to the basic essentials of life. And you rightly said, I've heard that from my parents as well as my grandparents to save money for the bad times. And luckily, few of them did. A lot of them did not, are going to suffer right now. Uh, do you also think, talking on the same topic, do you also think this is going to be a lifestyle change for a lot of people, or is it just a temporary thing? Because I heard this from, I'm going to continue here. I heard this from one of the psychotherapists that we are a very adaptive species. We are adapting to this situation right now. When it comes back to more convenience, when lockdown gets over, everything gets back to normal, we're going to go back to our luxuries no matter what. But there has to be some learnings out of this as well, right?
yeah, I would definitely feel that things will not be the same after today.
Mm,
And most of the people today, anyway, who are, say, 5 years and 10 years and above, would have actually experienced this with all their senses, this entire crisis, what's happening. Our children, grandchildren, locked up at home, they cannot go out. They cannot go to play. We used to tell the children to go and play and all. They cannot go. They used to go to school. Now they have to learn online, and education is now done by mobiles. They're told not to keep mobiles. Now they are being told to keep mobiles so they can
Yeah.
learn. So everything is going through a change. Immediately, once this entire episode of Corona comes to an end, God knows when, 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years down the line, when there's a vaccine and everyone gets inoculated. After that, also people will be cautious. Humanity, yes, are always cautious. Once burned, twice shy, as they say. So it will take time, 2, 3 years, for people to really start coming to the what is called good old normalcy days of 2019, which was only 4 months back.
Mm.
They will do it. But people who are young kids, 2 or 3 years old, who don't know what's happening right now,
Yeah.
maybe when they grow up, they might go back to the extrovert style of living. But right now, I think the current generation, 10 years to whatever, 70, 80 years, I don't think we'll go back to the outwardly ways which we used to practice 4 months back.
Mm. Okay. Thanks on your personal opinion on that. Now I'd like to get into, the corporate side of things. I'm sure you deal with a lot of corporates on a day-to-day basis. What's going on with hiring? There's a lot of speculations. A lot of people are going to be fired. There's going to be job cuts. There's going to be, decrease in salaries. There's going to be no bonuses this year because there's very less or no production for the companies. How do you see this market now?
Yeah, I would say even the corporates, I won't say they were taken off guard. They had been mentally preparing themselves, but they didn't realize the extent of damage the coronavirus is going to do on the economic life cycle of the country and to the supply chains of the country. Today, virtually half of humanity is locked down, staying at home. Most of the industry, most of the commercial establishments have been shut down. And India has, I think, wisely put in a very stringent lockdown mechanism in place where I think it's amongst the most stringent. 97% stringency is the rate I've read about in terms of the extent of lockdown that we are having currently. It has, I believe, flattened the curve to some extent, delayed the onslaught of coronavirus. Ultimately, the estimate is 70% of the world's population will be affected by corona sooner or later. Some may be asymptomatic, they may not realize it, may have come and gone. But ultimately, no one is going to escape it. 70% of the world is going to get affected by that. So corporates also, I would feel they have behaved in a very, very mature fashion right now. Last 1 or 2 months, I've been seeing a lot of people on TV, a lot of industry leaders on TV, a lot of webinars I've been attending to. They are bringing out the human touch, which we didn't expect that corporates who are totally business minded will come out with the human touch. They are very keen to, one, save jobs of the employees that they have, trying to mitigate and reduce the type of pain their own employees are having. A lot of them are going out to the community and serving the community, trying to help as many of the people in their surroundings as they can, the external community. Yes, but the harsh reality is this is a world, people are working in an economic organization. So they have to ensure that the company survives. Company runs, company at least makes some money, may not make profit. Today, everyone has disbanded the concept of growth concept. They are not even projecting any growth for this year, 2020-21. Their only talk about is survival of the company and survival of the jobs at hand. Some minimum pain-taking measures have been taken by quite a few organizations. The idea is to save the majority of the people in the organization. They are totally averse to asking people to go. They can understand the type of misery the employees who have worked with them for several years may have to undergo if they lose their job. So they're trying to make the pain as, I would say, low and as reduced as possible. But the pain has to come in because the organization has to survive. A lot of organizations have brought in, I would say, multiple stage reduction in salaries. At the lowest level, maybe zero reduction in salary. At, I would say, lower levels, 5 to 10%, 5 to 15%. Mid levels, 20 to 30%. At senior levels, even they have gone down to 50% reduction in salaries for the board members, the leadership position, the CXOs, and there are a lot of business owners who have decided not to take any salary, take a token 1 rupee salary. A lot of organizations, even multinationals and even the big four, they have deferred increments, deferred bonuses, deferred appraisals. So this is trying to mitigate the pain and reduce the pain to a very bare level. In fact, you'll be surprised, even the Maharashtra government has brought in reduction in salaries for the entire staff.
Mm.
right from the D class staff, where I think 0 or 5% reduction in salary, to the ministers and senior secretaries who are going through 50% salary cut.
Mm.
So the pain is there. The organizations are trying to mitigate it.
Mm.
In terms of job losses over a midterm period, maybe once industry starts and it starts getting to some level of operational efficiencies, building up the, I would say, broken down supply chains, that is the time they'll really start thinking of what next. Right now, the question is, how do we start up operation? If you see the TV, most of the organizations are wanting to know when and how the organization will start. Even
Yeah.
in Punjab, Maharashtra, organizations, even I would say auto industry wants to start up, but they don't know what's going to happen next.
Mm.
In terms of jobs, there were a number of surveys done recently, last 1.5 months. Surveys across talent heads of various industries, right from banking to retail to manufacturing, FMCG. The overall, I would say, the understanding was 70% of these organizations will go for reduced hiring or no hiring at all over the next 1.5 years. There were 25% said that we will maintain status quo, we'll continue what was, and 5% said we'll aggressively do the hiring. So overall understanding is that certain types of verticals will still aggressively hire and maintain their earlier hiring. But the organizations which were earlier, I would say, hiring may not be hiring to the extent possible right now. They may change. The mix of organizations will change. What I feel is now onwards, healthcare organizations in the pharma industry, in online education industry, logistics are the organizations which are really now going to go a whole lot once the thing starts opening out to some extent.
Mm.
The traditional organization will still try to retain the jobs, but they may reduce the number of additional jobs they were planning to have.
Mm.
IT industry, in any case, had been on downsizing since last 6 to 8 months.
Mm.
No one is talking about what they're doing currently, but it's possible they may also, if their clients in USA are not operational right now, Silicon Valley is also virtually not operating. Even the IT companies, who are the largest employers right now in the service industry, they may start, I would say, restructuring their headcount.
Mm. What about FMCG? There's going to be hiring, do you think, in FMCG products? Because, I mean, FMCG industry, do you think they're going to be hiring in FMCG? If somebody wants to move, let's just say they were working in a particular industry which may not do well for the couple of years. If they want to move with, you said the pharma industry or the FMCG industries would be a good option for them.
By and large, yes, but here also people will be selective. As I said, things will not be the same as normal, what was normal, say, in 2019.
Mm.
People may start reducing consumption of, I would say, luxury items like chocolates, ice creams, and healthcare products, which are the upper end in terms of lifestyle products. People will still buy their normal daily needs products.
Mm.
So it depends on which organization you're talking about. Those
Mm.
who are catering to the top end of the market may not really have that flexibility to grow further. But those who are catering to the essential needs, yes, like soaps or groceries, foods, they'll continue to grow. After all, we have to live and survive.
Yeah.
So we have to be very selective. It's not going to be gongo and across the board, all the FMCG industry. Yes, on the totality, FMCG will grow. But all organizations, FMCG may not grow at the same pace.
Yeah, and getting to the employees, I've heard so many stories. People are very anxious that they said we are ready to take a cut on the salary, but if I have a job loss and if the economy goes down, I have main mortgages on my car. I have insurances to pay. I have mortgages to pay, and I'm the only livelihood. I'm the only living person. Earning person in the family. So, what do you suggest for them? What should they do in case if there is a job loss? Do you have any ideas, any mitigation solutions for corporates as well as employees?
It's a very, very difficult situation, very sad state of affairs. We, from our side, are trying to do whatever to the extent possible to mitigate, I would say, the pain and stress levels of corporate professionals. We had recently organized a webinar also on 11th of April that was titled Navigating Through Today's Uncertainties, where we had brought in our associates and who are internationally qualified coaches to try to mentor these people, try to see that they look inwardly, maintain their calm, try to get de-stressed. Ultimately, that's what anyone will have to do. no one can really predict what's going to happen in next 1 or 2 months time. Whether at the corporate level, at the individual level, even at the individual level, the worry is, yes, how will the next salary come in? How am I going to survive?
Mm.
It's a difficult situation. So people have to be calm. They should be in touch with, I would say, professionals who are good at coaching and mentoring to de-stress them. Sit down coolly, work out a game plan and a corporate career plan for yourself. Evaluate your strengths and weaknesses, what type of strengths you have, what type of job should you really be catering to,
Mm.
and then go about in a very, very, I would say, sensible fashion, applying for those type of jobs when the situation improves. There's no one size that fits all. Each has to work out their own individual strengths and then approach the market as things improve. At Impact, what we have done is we have initiated a number of, I would say, programs to try to address some of the issues of the professionals. One is we have strengthened allied services of recruitment industry. Recruitment per se, as of now, is in the doldrums, essentially because corporates are not operational right now. There's no hiring happening. There's no interviewing happening. But okay, one aside is another survey was carried out where the organizations are meeting their commitments in terms of offers made. So a lot of organizations, 75% of organizations are making e-boarding as a practice. So
Mm.
although I have a client who's based in Baroda, the candidate is based in Orissa, they have happily agreed to have e-boarding. He can continue to operate from Orissa till things improve and he can travel to Baroda.
Mm.
So 75% of organizations are honoring their commitments and having e-boarding.
Mm.
What you have to do essentially is address organization, evaluate your strengths, and we have also, I would say, introduced a new activity, which is helping senior professionals do resume writing. People have not really refreshed their resume over the last 2 or 3 years. They have been comfortable in their comfort zone in their current jobs, but now they realize even the job is not guaranteed. So we are helping out. We are working out, I would say, a lot of services in terms of resume writing, career guidance, helping them improve their LinkedIn profile, giving them career guidance. So what all that is possible from our scope, we are trying to help out the professional community.
So currently, I mean, somebody sitting at home probably go back to their resumes and get back to you, or get in touch with you to kind of improve on their resumes as well. From corporate's point of view, is there any advice you are giving to them during this time, how to maintain or take care of staff as well?
I think there are two things that have happened. One, as I said in somewhere in the beginning of this discussion, corporates have exhibited a very, very mature, I would say, side of them,
Yeah.
which is really good and heartwarming. Second thing is this has changed the entire corporate culture and way of working. In fact, certainly it's pitchfork the HR head to the center of all the business operations.
Yeah.
Right now, the CEOs of these organizations are consulting HR heads of their companies to work out ways and means in which the continuity of the business practices is maintained to ensure that the pain faced by the employees is minimized. If there's restructuring, relocation that is to be done, then how to go about it. I think the HR people are right now quite busy in trying to help out the business community within the organization and external community.
Mm. Okay. So I would, want to do a case by case scenario as well. And maybe next time, if you have time, we could do another session just on a case by case scenario. What, take a particular case without taking the company's name. How have you handled them? How have you handled the employees? Any particular solutions you've given to them as well? But before I end this session, is there anything else you would like to give advice on, to the viewers, what they should be doing right now from an HR
So
point?
as I said, I would say one is the community which is already employed currently. They
Yeah.
have to maintain their cool.
Yeah.
Nothing is certain. Not even the president of USA knows what's going to happen next 1 hour's time. So nothing is uncertain in the world. And we should keep our calm. We should not get carried away by a lot of, I would say, information, news that's coming in through various sources. Today, it's the age of social media, WhatsApp. A lot of information on WhatsApp can also turn out to be very fake news.
Yeah.
So you have to keep your calm, do your own analysis and all that. Ultimately, as they say, the world has gone through lots of ups and downs. So
Yeah.
this too shall pass. That's the motto anyone should really apply. Keep your calm. Depend on your friends. Today, it's a question of reaching out. You cannot physically meet your friends. People want to now talk to. So many calls you get in a day because they want to reach out and talk to you at least on a personal basis.
Yeah.
Continue that. Strengthen your family relationship.
Mm.
Do a lot of time in terms of upgrading your skills, which you never had. When you are busy in your corporate world, you never had time to really attend webinars, upgrade your skills. This is really the time to do it. And Bombay has been one of the most affected cities in India with
Yeah.
regards to corona. There's no saying whether lockdown will be lifted for Bombay on 3rd of May. But
Mm.
still, this is a time you can spend on upgrading your skills, strengthening your relationships, being more visible in community through social media, and waiting for the chance to happen. If there is a chance, really grab the chance and get into your next assignment if you have without a job. My real sympathies and I would say empathy will lie with students who are passing out this year
Yeah.
from institutes like engineering and MBA. A lot of organizations have deferred joining times for these people. So
Mm.
that can create a lot of stress. They have spent a lot of money,
Mm.
several lakhs of rupees getting into good institutes. And now at the end of the 2 years or 5 years cycle, they're realizing that they may not have a job at the end of the day. I have known of some multinational companies in USA withdrawing 1 crore salary jobs overnight suddenly, and these people have spent lakhs of rupees getting the visas, getting the travel tickets. They are about to board a flight, and suddenly they realize the whole career has gone for a toss.
Yeah.
So we are trying to reach out to these communities also, trying to reduce. Ultimately, now is the time each one of us as humans have to help out each other.
Mm.
So we are trying to reach out, trying to help out the people to the extent
Yeah.
possible,
Yeah.
and with the confidence that yes, this too shall pass.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You have to have a positive mindset. If you have a negative mindset in this time, then you're gone. You're completely gone. Could take 3 months. It could take 6 months. It could take a year and a half. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Absolutely.
Only thing you should hope you are not positive is coronavirus. Rest of everything positive is positive, except coronavirus positive.
Yeah. Well, there are, on a different topic now. I've heard so many people having two sides to, this thing. I said, let everybody get, there's 3% mortality. It's very inhuman for them to even think that way. There's only 3 or 4% mortality. It's mostly in the older generation. Why should we suffer? Why should we go through this problem? As if they're never going to get old either. So it's just the mentality that people have is let everybody get coronavirus. Whoever, bring the economy back, and it's sad.
Yeah, it's I think a very very difficult choice.
Yeah.
I'm doomed if I do. I'm doomed if I don't.
Yeah.
If Modi ji allows people to go out, he's opening out maybe a Pandora's box. It's possible that the infection might spread exponentially.
Yeah.
If he doesn't allow people to come out, then you're building up a lot of, I would say, anger, frustration, desperation among the people.
Yeah.
So it has to be done in a very phased manner, very slow and steady manner. Ultimately, as I said, 70% of the population is likely to get infected.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the damage is not severe. And yes, you said 3%, 4% fertility rates, but they are extremely high in terms of the 50 plus generation.
Yeah.
So even if the younger generation goes out, it's possible they may come home and infect their family members who might be seniors. So it's not a solution that is there for universal for everyone. There's no panacea. Everyone has to fight their own battles.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Kevalramani. I would really like to do another one with you on a case-by-case scenario. I'm sure we'll have a lot of questions. This is really a hot topic for us right now as well. I'll send you those questions or maybe prepare you for the next time, for the next session whenever we can. And good luck and stay home and stay safe, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure talking to you. And you too and your family stay safe, stay healthy, and we shall see good times sooner than later.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you and bye.